Hiya folks, welcome to The View for the warm-up, the short sharp data pack to get you ready for Leeds' next match. Today, it's Leeds United at home to Norwich City, and Leeds come into what will be, on paper at least, a tough couple of days and an important part of the season. Norwich at home, Fortress Ellen Road tonight, and then a trip to Burnley and Turf Moor on Monday night, a game that both those sides will look to win. Leeds have a few knocks coming into this game, but they're not on their own. Norwich coming in with a host of players missing from this tie. Last season, we saw Leeds' probable best performance under Daniel Farke in the 4-0 playoff semi-final win at Elland Road, winning that game in convincing style. But earlier this season, it took a largely Ramazani equaliser after Josh Sargent had converted a penalty to give Norwich the lead earlier on this year. Leeds will want to start better than that one. In the warm-up today, we will go through the key form guide for both sides, home and away, as well as their progress so far this season. We'll look at team news for both sides, statistics, and then likely lineups that are likely to be put out later on today. Let me know in the comments what you think the score prediction will be, what your predicted lineup for this game would be, and we'll crack on and we'll get into this. And we'll start off with the form guide, and Leeds as the home side. We'll start with them first, and top of the table right now, 1 point clear of Sheffield United in second, 3 points clear over Burnley in third, and that's why the game on Monday could be a really big game for both sides. A win for Leeds opening a bigger gap, win for Burnley closing it right up, and also important to open a bigger gap between the rest of the sides. Leeds now 5 points clear of fourth place Sunderland. Last 5 for Leeds, 3 wins, 2 draws, all up. Not bad, going quite well for Leeds at home. The home record's been phenomenal for Leeds this season. That will be important. We'll look at that in a second. But for Norwich, their season this year hasn't started the way they would have liked it, down in 11th place in the table, but only 5 points off the playoffs, and they're going through a bit of a wobble at the moment, but they're looking to get back on winning ways. In the last 5 games, they've had 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. That loss coming the last time out for them, so they'll look to avoid back-to-back defeats. Leeds looking to add another set of 3 points at Ellen Road to the quest for promotion. On the specific form, so looking at Leeds United's home record this season, still the best in the league, top of the form table for home performances this season. 4 wins and 1 draw in Leeds' last 5, only 1 loss at home all season. That came to Burnley, and a chance to get that one right on Monday evening. Norwich City's away form, well, it's the 13th best in the league, and the last 5 away, it's not been great for them. 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses. Only 3 wins on the road all season, losing 7. It's 50% of their total available matches that they've lost on the road this season. So not great coming into Ellen Road, and what's been a very good place for Leeds and tough for teams coming. They're not coming in good form away from home at all. Team news for the game, it's a mixed bag for Leeds. We don't know the full extent of Pascal Stroke's injury just yet, although apparently we will know after this game. He was due for a second scan midweek, so we should know when Daniel Farke talks to the press later on what the situation is there. No Patrick Bamford, but we probably can't rely on Pat for the remainder of this year anyway. Max Verber will be a late check with the issues he's having around swelling on his knee. Manor Solomon is a slight doubt coming into this game. He's ranked at 50-50 with a hamstring problem, but Large Ramazani could easily come in and replace him, and he's coming in to this game in really good form right now as well. Brendan Aronson should be okay. He's labelled as having a late check on the ankle knock that he received during the match at the weekend. From a Norwich perspective, there's a few checks for them. Manque Forson is a doubt for the game, along with Jose Cordoba and Marcelino Nunes, who all came off in their last match out and are doubts for this game. Liam Giggs, Jacob Sorensen, Anis Ben Slimani, Gabriel Forsyth and Tony Springett are all out of this game for Norwich City. January signing Matija Jurisic cannot play in this game, and that's apparently due to some issues around Brexit in his transfer. He can't play until February. And Borja Sainz will see out the 3rd game of his 6-match suspension for Norwich. In this game, the league's top goal scorer, so it's a good one for Leeds that he's not involved in the game at all. From a key statistics perspective going into this game, a couple of things just to keep an eye out for yourselves. First off, it's Leeds unbeaten across their last 5 league games against Norwich City. Norwich City have won just 2 of their last 11 away league games against Leeds, and Leeds have not lost any of their midweek league games at Ellen Road since returning to the Championship for the 23-24 season. They've won 7 and drawn 2 in that time. Norwich are unbeaten in their last 4 midweek league games, 3 wins and 1 draw. And Dan James has provided 4 assists in his last 6 games against Norwich, including 1 in both of the previous matches at Elland Road. You got to start Dan James in that game, don't you? We'll talk about that and the potential lineup and Leeds coming into this game with, I suppose, a team that probably picks itself outside of a couple of positions you could slightly argue over. Ilan Melier will stay in goal. Daniel Farke making the big decision to start him at the weekend and keeping a clean sheet, although not an awful lot to do. A few shaky moments in the first half that he'll want to get out of his system. Ethan Ampadu will likely deputise at the back for Pascal Stroke yet again, which means the midfield pairing of Ao Tanaka and Joe Rothwell will be maintained, and that for me has been an important part of the Leeds season so far this year. Possibility of no Solomon, that means largely Ramazani could come in for his only his second start since coming back from injury. And then James, as we said, has a hell of a record against Norwich, specifically in the last couple of games, and for me he has to start. He's been a source of a lot of really positive things. People are already talking about trying to get him out of the team, want him brought in, Ramazani brought in and him dropped. I just don't think it's the right call right now. I think Dan James has been very, very effective for Leeds this season. Probably the best winger in the division. And up top, you could argue over Mateo Joseph in this game. Joe Piros had a knock recently. You could rest him with the Burnley game coming up as well. And you could put Mateo Joseph in to start from this one. But I would be shocked if Daniel Farke breaks with the mould and doesn't start Joel Piroux in the number 9. And then the question mark will be around the number 10 position if Brendan Aronson isn't 100%. Does Daniel Farke put a Willie Gnonto in the 10? Does he try Ramazani in the 10? That would be interesting to see. That means Willie Gnonto could come in on the left-hand side for Leeds as well. So there is a lot of stuff to consider coming into this game, but ultimately it'll be a case of getting 3 points on the board. It's very tight at the top of the table. Leeds will hopefully have a chance this week to start opening little gaps and pushing on. And this is the point last year where Leeds picked up their form and went on a really, really impressive run. And they will need that again this season if they are to run out this season and get promoted back to the Premier League. A lot of chatter about what's going to happen in the transfer market this week as well. Next week will be a very important week. Leeds will need business done. And going from what the comments from Graham Smith and other journalists there, Leeds will look likely to be having a look at 2, possibly 3 players, depending on the quality that they can bring in. Bring them in, add them to what we've got. We're just starting to see a couple of little cracks now with Aronson getting a knock. There's question marks around square pegs and round holes with the midfield issue. Ethan Ampadu having to deputise for Pascal Stroke. There's just gaps there that need to be sorted out as quick as they can, so we can look forward to having a very strong team. It's still a strong team on paper. It should be enough for me for Leeds to go ahead and get a win in this game and hopefully open up a gap to the promotion rivals. But Leeds promotion rivals obviously all in action last night and again today. Sheffield United up against away to Swansea, while Sunderland will away to Derby, and Burnley will kick off after Leeds tonight, and they're away to the new look Plymouth side, who might be able to do something now that Wayne Rooney's not in charge of them anymore. But you'll all know the results of the Sheffield United game and the Sunderland game. I don't know them just yet because I am recording this yesterday. So there you go. Folks, that'll be it for me today. Massive thanks for supporting the channel. I'm at the game myself. If you want to have a chat, I'm over in the pavilion at any point. And fingers crossed we get 3 points and continue to maintain our position at the top of the table. Enjoy the game. Fingers crossed 3 points, and I will talk to you very soon. See you then. Bye.